Let me tell you what actually happens when you start choosing yourself. The real version is that some people leave, and some people get weird, and some people who you genuinely thought would be in your corner start treating you differently in ways you can't quite put your finger on at first. And for a while, before the right people show up, it gets lonelier than you expected, and you start wondering whether choosing yourself was actually worth it. And nobody prepares you for that part. So I'm going to tell you about it right now, because I think you need to hear it before it happens to you, or because it's already happening and you don't understand why. Picture this. You've been the same guy for years. Same routine, same group chat, same Friday nights doing the same things in the same places with the same people, and it's comfortable. It's familiar. Everyone knows their role, and you know yours, and nobody is challenging anybody, and life is just fine, not great, not terrible, just fine. And then something shifts. Maybe you read something that changed how you think. Maybe you had a conversation that made you see your life differently. Maybe you just woke up one morning and the fine wasn't enough anymore, and you decided quietly, without announcing it to anyone, that you were going to start taking your life seriously. So you start waking up earlier, you start working on the thing you've been putting off, you start going to the gym consistently instead of occasionally, you start saying no to the Friday night that was never really filling you up anyway, you start reading instead of scrolling, you start investing time in yourself in ways you never did before. And in the beginning, nobody really notices, or if they do, they don't say anything. But give it a few weeks and watch what happens. The first thing you notice is the comments. Not big dramatic confrontations, just small things. Little remarks that are disguised as jokes but have an edge to them that you can feel, even if you can't quite explain it. Oh, look at you, too good for us now. Bro, who are you trying to be? You've changed, man, and not in a good way. And the thing that makes this so confusing is that these comments are coming from people you've known for years, people you care about, people you thought wanted good things for you. And now they're looking at you slightly differently, and you can't figure out what you did wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. Here's what's actually happening. When you start growing, when you start taking your life seriously and making different choices and becoming a different version of yourself, you become a mirror for the people around you. And that mirror shows them the gap between where they are and where they know they should be. And that gap is uncomfortable. And instead of being inspired by it, some people will try to pull you back down to where they are. Not because they're bad people, but because your growth is making them uncomfortable about their own stagnation. And the easiest way to deal with that discomfort is to make you feel like the problem. Then comes the second thing, the one that hurts more than the comments, the slow fade. The friends who don't text as much, the group chat that you're technically still in, but nobody really includes you in plans anymore. The invitations that stop coming because you've said no enough times that they've stopped asking. And you're not being dramatic about it. You can genuinely feel the distance growing. And part of you wants to close it, wants to just go back to the old routine, wants to be the person they were comfortable with, but you can't, because you've seen something now that you can't unsee. You felt what it feels like to actually work on something that matters to you, to wake up with a sense of direction, to end the day having done something real, and going back to the Friday nights that leave you feeling emptier than before you went out. You can't make yourself want that anymore. And so the distance stays and it gets quieter. And for a while it genuinely hurts. And then there's the relationship piece, because this is the one that catches most guys completely off guard. You'd think that becoming a better version of yourself would make you more attractive, more interesting, more worth being around, and eventually it does. But in the short term, in that awkward middle period where you're clearly changing but haven't fully arrived anywhere yet, something strange happens with the girl you're seeing or the girl you've been talking to. She pulls back, and you can't understand it. You're doing everything right, you're working on yourself, you're becoming more focused, more disciplined, more intentional about your life, you're literally becoming a better man in real time. So why does it feel like she's less interested than she was before you started? Because the version of you she was comfortable with was the version that was available whenever she wanted, that had no particular direction, that had time and energy and attention to give her because you weren't really investing it anywhere else. And now you're focused, now you have a direction. Now your time and energy are going somewhere, and that shift, that subtle shift from a guy with nothing pulling him forward to a guy with something pulling him forward changes the dynamic in ways that not everyone is ready for. This is the part nobody talks about because it doesn't fit the narrative of the glow up. The narrative says you choose yourself, you level up, the right people appear, everything gets better. And that's true, eventually. But in the middle, there is a period that is genuinely lonely in a way that is hard to explain to anyone who hasn't been through it. Your old friends have faded, the new people haven't arrived yet. You're spending a lot of time alone with your work and your thoughts and your growth, and it's meaningful, but it's also quiet in a way that takes getting used to. And there are nights where you genuinely wonder whether this was the right call, whether the version of you that just went along with everything was actually happier, whether growth is worth the cost of the people it took with it. I want to be honest with you about this part because I think you deserve the real version. Yes, it is worth it. Not because loneliness doesn't hurt, it does. Not because losing people who matter to you doesn't cost something real, it does. But because of the alternative, staying small to keep people comfortable, shrinking yourself to fit a version of your life that was never going to take you anywhere, that costs more. It just costs it slowly, in ways you don't notice until years have passed and you're still in the same place wondering why nothing ever changed. Here's what I actually want to say to you directly. The people who leave when you start choosing yourself were never really choosing you to begin with. They were choosing the version of you that was convenient for them, the version that was always available, that never challenged the dynamic, that never made them look at their own life and feel uncomfortable about what they saw. That's not friendship, that's familiarity. And familiarity feels like loyalty until you do something that disrupts the comfort. Real people, the ones who are actually supposed to be in your life, will not punish you for growing. They will not make you feel guilty for taking yourself seriously. They will not shrink you with comments designed to pull you back to where you were. They will show up differently. They'll be curious about what you're building. They'll challenge you to go further. They'll be doing their own version of the same thing. And those people exist, but you will not find them while you're still performing the old version of yourself to keep the wrong people comfortable. So if you're in that middle place right now where you started choosing yourself and it's gotten quieter and lonelier than you expected and you're not sure whether to keep going, I want you to hear this. The quiet is not failure. The quiet is the gap between who you were and who you're becoming. And it's supposed to feel uncomfortable. And the people who left were not taken from you. They were cleared to make room for something better. Keep going. Not for them, not to prove anything to anyone who doubted you, not to get back at the people who left, for you, because you finally started, and stopping now would mean going back to a version of yourself that you already know isn't enough anymore. The right people are coming, but first you have to be willing to be the right person.